What's going on, guys? It's me, Dreamliner Fan 2016 here, and today we have another flight report for you guys. I hope you guys are excited for today's video, and without being said, let's begin. I just had an amazing 2-hour layover at Los Angeles International Airport. To put it into perspective, I had a fun time exploring the airport while catching many of these international heavies and a lot of Delta planes at Terminal 3. While I wanted to do more spotting at LAX, it was getting dark and I had to get to my gate before the boarding process begins. So while I walk to my gate, let me give you guys a brief information about my flight for today. So this flight took place on December 9th, 2022, the same day I had my flight from Sacramento to Los Angeles. I'll be flying with Delta Airlines from Los Angeles International Airport to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, and the flight time should be about 2 hours and 55 minutes. Terminal 3 wasn't that hard to navigate as I had been going around Terminal 3 ever since my first arrival at LAX, but it still needs some work in order to get familiarized with the airport. Welcome to Gate 35. This will be the gate where my aircraft will be parking later this evening. It was all quiet when I got there, but many passengers started showing up later down the line. And after a few minutes of waiting, our aircraft arrived at our gate. Let's have a look at the details of our aircraft for today's flight, shall we? This flight will mark my first time on a Delta Airlines mainline aircraft since 2015. The last flight I had on board a mainline was from Salt Lake City to Detroit's DTW Wayne County International Airport. Really nice to finally fly on board a Delta mainline again. I'm eager to see what their retrofitted cabin is like. I still roamed around Terminal 3 right before boarding was about to begin. I checked out the departures board to see my departure time for my flight to SeaTac. I am also excited for the upcoming connection area from Terminal 3 to the Tom Bradley International Terminal. Probably the next time I do some terminal spotting at LAX when I have a layover there again, I'm hoping to try that out once that is complete. I soon headed back to Gate 35 because the boarding time was about to begin soon, and shortly after 5:15 p.m. in the evening, the boarding process was about to begin. I'll be boarding on Main Cabin 2 as that is my assigned group for today's flight. So with my boarding pass scanned, let's begin making our way down the jet bridge to board my aircraft. Let's do it. Alrighty guys, here we go. Boarding a Delta 737-900ER. First time on a 737-900ER. I'm eager to see what the cabin looks like. Man, really excited.
Right here till I come back.
All right.
Right here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to C-23F, a nice seat in the main cabin class. It's also a window seat, which is typical for a seat that I will always pick whenever I go on a flight. Let's have a look at the seat back items. Only 2 items are available on this flight. Let's begin here with the safety card. It is nicely designed and well detailed, and it shows all the safety procedures in every event in an emergency. And the second item is a sick bag, which is helpful for passengers who are feeling a little queasy during flight. The legroom here is fairly decent. Main cabin seats are 30 to 31 inches of pitch with a width of 17.2 inches, which is not bad for someone around my standards. There is a universal power outlet that is placed on every back of each seat, mainly on the bottom side. Really perfect if you want to charge your other electronic devices. And here's the overhead panel, which features a reading light and a flight attendant call button. And along with the no smoking sign and the seatbelt sign, there is also a Wi-Fi on board sign, which is unique since this aircraft is equipped with Wi-Fi on board, but I will go over the in-flight Wi-Fi later when we are at cruise. Delta's 737-900ER fleet has a total of 180 seats, with classes consisting of First, Delta Comfort, and Main Cabin. There are 20 total seats in First Class, 21 in Delta Comfort, and 139 in Main Cabin. Every seat has some amazing amenities from power outlets, satellite TV, USB power ports, and much more. Really love these features on their mainline fleet.
Delta, connecting you to what matters is what matters most. As America's most awarded airline, this remains our #1 home. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, and thank you for flying with Delta.
Our first priority on every flight is the health and safety of our customers and crew.
But before we depart, please pay attention to this important safety message. Be sure that all carry-on items are securely stowed in an overhead bin and place smaller items, including handbags, under the seat in front of you.
If you lose your electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for assistance. Please ensure all aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas exits on this plane. 4 doors, 2 on each side, and 4 window exits over the wings. The forward doors have detachable slides that can be used for flotation. Light rafts are located in ceiling compartments at the front and center of the plane. If necessary, the rear 2 window exits have an escape strap attached inside the window frame, which can be...
Before pushback, I did get a few planes that are taxiing on Taxiway Echo. We'll begin here with this KLM 787-10. This aircraft will be making the outbound flight to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport as KLM Flight 604, and the aircraft registration is Papa Hotel Bravo Kilo Lima. I do have the 1/4 model of this exact aircraft from NG Models, so it was nice to see this particular aircraft here at LAX. And while it's not the best photo out there, I'm really proud on how this shot turned out. And the next aircraft was a Virgin Atlantic Airbus A350-1000. First time seeing one, and I know this photo would have turned out a lot better if I were to spot at it while inside Terminal 3, but hopefully I can see one again and get a much more better photo than that. This aircraft will be departing for London Heathrow as Virgin Flight 8, and the aircraft registration is Golf Victor Juliet Alpha Mike. And here we go with the pushback. We pushed back out of gate 35 at 5:57 p.m., which was an on-time pushback, so we should be departing out of LAX in a little bit. Our taxi route would begin at Taxiway Echo and we would head to runway 24 left for departure. After departure, we would turn north heading towards Seattle. We would then climb into a cruising altitude of flight level 360. Since the aircraft is traveling west, it is flying at this altitude to maintain vertical separation, which allows it to safely fly more optimum profiles. This is also known as RVSM, or Reduced Vertical Separation Minimum Airspace. Departing LAX from the east runways was amazing. Since I was at the starboard side of the aircraft, it provided me with an amazing view of the LA area as we climbed to our cruising altitude. I'll be showing you guys some pictures after we take off. And here we go with our takeoff on runway 24 left. Make sure to stay tuned for the in-flight videos coming in the next couple of days. But other than that, enjoy this takeoff, everybody.
Delta 680, wind 240 at 6, RNAV Del Rey, runway 24 left, clear for takeoff.
RNAV Del Rey, 24 left, clear for takeoff, Delta 680.
Delta 680, have a good flight. Contact SoCal departure.
Switching SoCal departure, Delta 680, see you.
We invite you to enjoy our onboard entertainment and a variety of complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium ready snack boxes, premium snack boxes from our flight menu are available for purchase as well as alcoholic beverages. However, please note the federal regulations.
As we climb to our cruising altitude, let's have a look at the in-flight entertainment system. You first get a welcome screen once you begin accessing it. This also appears once you sit down on your assigned seat. You can select a variety of languages from English, Spanish, French, Japanese, Korean, Thai, and a few more that are listed, so that is a nice feature. Delta's IFE system provides a lot of amazing features for passengers to enjoy. You can browse what movies you like by tapping on the Movies tab. You can change if you want them in alphabetical order. You can also look at live TV and select what TV channels you want to watch throughout the flight. There are some varieties of ABC, NBC, Fox, and much more. What's cool about Delta's IFE system is it gives you the details about the aircraft and the flight route, which is an absolute must if you want to learn more about the plane you're flying on in great detail. And here we have the flight map. I really like on how it shows you the distance and the estimated time of arrival to your destination. There's also a nighttime satellite imagery, which is a very nice feature to the world map. You can also browse some new features from latest movies, TV shows, and documentaries. Delta also has a very nice selection of games that you can play. I would highly recommend jumping into those games if you like to. Another really cool feature for the IFE system is the USB and headphone plug-in port lights up, which is very helpful if you want to locate each port more easily in the dark. Here's a look at the flight status. We have just reached our cruising altitude of flight level 360, and we have 640 nautical miles or 734 miles until we reach our destination. I also like on how they added the outside temperature, the headwind, and the ground speed. It's another cool feature that is presented here in the IFE system. Delta's Wi-Fi system is a nice feature for many Delta flights, mainly on their mainline planes. Texting and messaging is free, but internet access costs $5. While I'm on a 2-hour flight, I'll go for a pass on this one. What is exciting though, is Delta is planning on making internet Wi-Fi access for free for SkyMiles members and T-Mobile customers. I'm very excited to see how that rolls out in the future, but I still had a little access to the internet throughout the flight. Here is a look at the tray table. It has some decent space to fit my laptop. It can also be adjustable as well. Snacks were then handed out by the cabin crews 37 minutes after departure. For my snack for today's flight, I went for a cup of orange juice as my drink of choice and some sun chips. Both of them taste amazing. It's always nice to try a different snack instead of sticking with just one. And how about this amazing napkin design promoting Delta's partnership with the Breast Cancer Research Foundation? I think it looks very nice and it really shows how strong that partnership is going. We love to see it from Delta. Let's have a look at what the lavatory looks like, shall we? And here we are inside the lavatory. Really nice and clean from the inside. And there is enough head clearance from the ceiling. And I also have enough room to move around as well. There are some amenities inside this lavatory, like a coat rack. Perfect for you if you want to hang a coat for a little bit. And here we have the sink. Pretty much your typical average sink on an airplane lavatory. The only feature item is a hand soap. And how about a nice wave at the mirror as a show of appreciation to my viewers. The rest of the flight was pretty much normal at this point, but I did ask a flight attendant if I could have one of those earbuds. She said yes and handed me one for free. They also asked passengers if they wanted one before we pushed back out of LAX, but I did decide to have one during the duration of this flight. What's also cool is you can keep them after this flight, so it's nice to have some earbuds from Delta. And now I began testing them out to see how they sound. So I picked my favorite movie to watch on the IFE, and after a couple of minutes of watching, I had to say that these earbuds work perfectly. These earbuds really provide some noise cancellation, and the sound quality is great. Great work Delta on keeping these items in good condition, and I can't wait to use them again on my next Delta flight. A couple of minutes passed and the mood lighting was set to an orange atmosphere. A really nice color to get the passengers awake before we reach our destination. Flight attendants then came back with a glass of water so passengers stay hydrated. I really appreciate their hard work on making sure that this flight is comfortable for me, along with the passengers on this flight. We are 30 minutes away until we reach our destination of SEA, and we have began our initial descent. Looking outside of the window, you can really see how pretty the sky looks as we descend. We also have a thick layer of clouds as we pass flight level 300. Seattle's weather on that day was somewhat okay, as we do have some light rain with overcast clouds at 3,700 feet and 9 statute miles of visibility. Regardless of the bad weather, it was still good for the pilots to land at SeaTac anyway. Our approach to Seattle-Tacoma brought the aircraft into a left upwind leg, and then we will make a 180-degree turn to put the aircraft on final approach to runway 16 right. The approach was amazing to say the least. We went through a thick layer of clouds before flying over Seattle where the city lights were visible. Once again, it was a very stunning approach. But with that being said, enjoy this landing video as we arrive at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport.
It's our pleasure to welcome you to Seattle. Local time is 8:31 p.m. Please stay seated with your seatbelt fastened and carry on Adam stowed until the aircraft is parked at the gate. The captain has turned off the seatbelt sign. Be careful when opening overhead bins to avoid injury from items that may have shifted during flight.
Welcome to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Really excited to be back here at the Emerald City. And while the landing didn't provide much views of the area, it was still an amazing landing. And with that, let's give my overall review for this flight. To start things off, there is a great amount of amenities on this flight, which is nice for a 2-hour flight. So the amenities receive a 10 out of 10. The cabin crew are amazing on this flight. I had some amazing friendly conversations with them, and they really went all in on this flight. So that is another 10 out of 10 for this rating. The Wi-Fi on board is good, but it sometimes takes a while for some internet websites to be accessed. And while I don't have some problems while texting, I do think the onboard Wi-Fi is good. 9 out of 10. The legroom on this flight is fairly decent, so that receives a 9.5 out of 10. Snacks will also be receiving a 9.5 out of 10. And while I wish for better options, I think the snacks that were provided is good for a 2-hour flight. The cabin is amazing. Everything from the mood lighting and the modern design. The cabin is also clean as well. No stains, nor trash. So, the cabin and cleanliness is a solid 10 out of 10. The IFE setup is amazing. I really love the amazing features that were provided on this flight. 9.6 out of 10. We had a smooth flight with no delays while we were at LAX, and the flight ended up arriving early ahead of its scheduled arrival here in SEA. And with all those remarks out of the way, let us now give my overall rating for this flight. So, for my flight to Los Angeles International Airport to Seattle-Tacoma International Airport with Delta Airlines, the total rating for this flight report is a 9.7 out of 10. What a great score to give for this Delta flight. Shortly after landing, we exited the runway via taxiway November and continued on Tango. We ended up holding short on taxiway Papa for a little bit before crossing the next runway, 16 Center. It was not too long before clearance was given to cross the runway.
Delta 680, Seattle-Tacoma Papa, cross runway 16 center, hold short of runway 16 left. Cross 16 center, hold short of 16 left, Delta 680.
We then held it short on runway 16 left for a few more minutes before crossing that runway and entering onto taxiway Bravo. After that, we entered the apron and made our way down Concourse A where we will park at our assigned gate. It was a short taxi, but the good news is, we arrived at our gate on time. So now let's have a look at the rest of the video clips as we taxi to Gate Alpha 1. You too. You have a good rest of your night. Here is a look at my aircraft at Gate Alpha 1 shortly after I deplaned. I really appreciate the ride, November 857 Delta Zulu. I hope I can see you again sometime. And how about this wallpaper shot? Feel free to take a screenshot of it and use this if you want to. But that's not all, as I went around the airport to look at a few more planes that are parked here for the night. One of them is a Delta Airlines Airbus A321neo registered November 509er Delta Tango at Gate Bravo 1. I was so fortunate to catch my first Delta A321neo at SEA. The aircraft looks amazing in the Delta livery, and the raccoon mask gives it a nice look. And over here at Gate Bravo 15, we have a JetBlue Airbus A321neo in the balloon's tail. She had just arrived here from New York's JFK Airport a bit early tonight, and this aircraft is registered November 2017 Juliet. It's been years since I last saw a JetBlue A321neo. Really fortunate to catch one just before I left for my hotel. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for today's flight report. To summarize, I had an amazing time flying with Delta Airlines while flying me to my destination. It's also really cool to fly from one Delta hub to another. Really cool to have these hub-to-hub flights with one of the US legacy carriers. Another part that made this flight enjoyable was the amazing modern cabin design from Delta. I think the overall layout was amazing, and I would love to fly with another Delta mainline so I can see that beautiful cabin again. And to top it all off, I'm so fortunate to fly my first Delta mainline in 7 years, and a brand new type of aircraft from their fleet in general. The 737-900ER is an amazing aircraft, and I would love to fly on another one in the near future. I can't wait to fly with Delta again soon, but make sure to stay tuned for my next Delta flight 2 days later that is set to be coming out soon. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And if you want to see more of my flight reports, then you can click on the card that's going to appear on your screen, and you can check out all my flight reports I did. They do get a lot of views, so hopefully we can do it for this video too. So, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.